Hello everyone, and welcome to another Follett House Friday. I'm Jeremy, the Museum Services Manager for the Sandusky Library and Follett House Museum. And today we're going to stick with our connection to summer reading, though a little bit differently. So I know some of you out there have read books by flashlight before. So it got me kind of thinking and Googling and, searching in our collection to see what kind of portable light they might have had during the 1800s. So as I was going through our collection, I found something I think is really interesting. It's this. This is a pocket lantern. So I was able to find the original patent online, and it says, this lantern is especially intended for travelers, skaters, and others that require a light at night and a lantern that occupies but little space. And as you can see, it is relatively small. What I think is really interesting is on the back, you can see there's a clip that you could, clip it onto a piece of your clothing. And that's kind of what this was designed for. It's designed to be easily carried, hence pocket lantern, and to be used when you're traveling at night. Or the most interesting part of the patent to me was him talking about it being designed for skaters. So I knew there was skating in the 1800s. This pocket lantern's from 1875, but I didn't know how popular skating was. Apparently, ice skating was very, very popular in the late 1800s. So it's interesting to me that that was one of the target audiences. So you can see, on the outside, it's kind of silverish with a pattern. There's a nice picture of a gentleman reading a newspaper on the front. And it says, Stevens patent, September 7th, 1875. So this was patented by John Stevens from Orange County, New Jersey, in September of 1875. So that's what it looks on the outside. And it has a flap on the front that when you open it, it reveals what's inside. So you can see the glass. In the back is they call it silver. It's basically polished metal to reflect the light outwards. So you would have a light, and it's hard to see that way, but I can pull it out. On the inside, you have an oil lantern. So you have a wick on top that you would light. And once you had it lit, of course there's oil underneath. Once you had it lit, you would put it back. Goes back in this way, Jeremy. You'd put it back in your pocket lantern, and it would provide all the light that you would need while you were using it. You can see on the sides here, and on the back, there's holes, so you could actually let the air come through so your light could burn, because obviously to have a candle going or any fire going, you need a fresh supply of oxygen. And what is even more interesting to me, besides us actually having this pocket lantern, we have the original directions, which are actually in amazing conditions. I'll just show you a little bit here. It's actually, as you can see, in really good condition. I won't read you the whole thing because most of it's not that interesting. It's just telling them, how to light it, how to refill the oil, things like that. Makes sense. But I think this last part is the most interesting. It says, it is perfectly safe under all circumstances. Cannot possibly explode. Then tells you how to clean it. So to me, it's interesting that that's one of the big things that they worry about. It says, cannot possibly explode. There was a concern in the 1800s with the quality of lamp oil. It wasn't well regulated for a long time, and there were problems with lamps and lamp oils where it would basically break or explode. So they wanted to make sure that that's not a problem that they would be having with this pocket lantern. One of the things that was really interesting, and I want to say, if you guys have questions, please comment. I'm more than happy to answer any and all questions I can as we're going along. One of the things that I found really interesting when I was researching this was that a lot of the books of patents from the 1800s are all digitized. I've done a little bit of research with them before, but this time I was actually looking for a specific patent instead of just a type of something. I had done some research on dog and sheep treadmill at a previous job, and I was just looking for general ones, but this is the first time I was looking for a real specific patent. So it's interesting, they're all digitized through Google Books. You can search them quite easily. Like I said, it was fascinating that I could find the exact date, and when the patent was filed, I could, I have here, I can show you, is the original. I have it printed out, obviously, but this is from the Google Books of the original letter that he submitted to get his patent. And he also has the picture right up here is the original drawings on how the Latern, as you saw, would be designed, and of course how it finally ended up. So it's, like I said, really kind of an interesting thing that we found, or that I found, and was able to find those things. The resources being digitized is a huge comfort and a huge assistance for historians and for people doing genealogy. For those of you doing genealogy, you know how important stuff being digitized is. Since unfortunately I don't see any questions popping up right now, if you're watching this later, feel free to comment with your questions, and I will make sure that I answer them as the week goes on. And with that, I hope you all have a great weekend, and thanks for joining us for another Follett House Friday.